Typhoon Mawar moving forward at an absolute snail's pace over Guam and Rota, bringing these sustained typhoon conditions over an extended period of time. There has been damage report, widespread power outages on Rota and Guam, down trees, a lot of tin roofs being tossed about from reports on the ground here. Definitely, this is going to be one of the more damaging storms. Now, the good news, since the last typhoon that hit the island here about 20 years ago, a lot of the building codes have been upgraded. Even things like the power lines, poles and stuff like that have been made into cement. So hopefully, you know, we're not going to see as much damage as we've seen in those previous storms, but this is definitely still a very serious system here. The good news is that it is pulling away. We still have the backside of the outer eye wall impacting the islands here. Center of circulation is also starting to deepen. Now, what does that mean? Well, simply put, we are seeing this start to re-strengthen, and it is expected to get up to about a Cat 5 status, a super typhoon here in the Philippine Sea as it tracks off there towards the west. See on Dvorak analysis where it peaked up prior to moving over Guam, then back down, and now we're starting to see it begin to jump back up here as well as it starts to reorganize, and that low-level center begins to re-strengthen as it kicks off here towards the west. But boy, I mean, even just the persistent sideways rain in a lot of these areas is causing flooding in apartments, things like that. Storm surge. I mean, look at this video from videographer James Reynolds, just that long period waves. I actually found this pretty interesting. Check out his Twitter. He's talking about, you know, some of these large waves coming on shore. But let's take a look at where this storm system is now and where it is going to be headed as it does pull away from Guam, Rota, and Saipan for that matter. You know, we've been seeing those tropical storm strength conditions there. Pressure now at 940 hectopascals as it continues to move off there towards the west. Still have that inner core there over the island. It's not going to be until about Thursday midday that we're going to see winds really start to back off to a point where people can head out and start to pick up after this. Actually, let's just take a look at that guidance here. This is from the ECMWF, just showing you those winds with the top right being the time. And yeah, it is during the morning, around lunchtime, do we see kind of the rain really begin to taper off and those winds back off to a point where it's going to be a sufficient southerly breeze, but at least you'll be able to get outside. I mean, big thing though, and I talked to Mike Brennan, the National Hurricane Center director, and one of the big things he wanted to stress for this year's tropical season was the fact that a lot of deaths take place after the fact when people are cleaning up power lines, running a generator inside, things like that. So be smart. Be safe with this one, guys, even after it pulls away. Moving off there towards the west and intensifying. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that classic buzzsaw shape on our storm system as it moves into the Philippine Sea. Now, where is it going to go next? It's a big question. Northeastern Luzon, northern Luzon for that matter. I want you guys to watch this still very closely. We got that high towards the north, and I've been saying it for several days now. I'm not convinced on that north turn. It's just the official track does keep turning towards the north. I'm not convinced yet. I'm still keeping northeastern Luzon, northern Luzon for that matter, well within the threat area. Yeah, I mean, let's actually just take a look at this as we kind of look ahead here with the guidance. I want to show you what the National Weather Service is showing for their tropical storm strength winds, how far they could be extending out. And pretty much, even if we do see this move just offshore, that still puts a good portion of Luzon at least in 34 knots or higher type of winds. So even if this does stay offshore, I mean, we're still looking at the potential of winds strong enough to, you know, knock down thatched roofs, some crops, things like that. So I mean, it is definitely within that threat. And of course, the heavy rain that's going to come with this as well. Latest guidance from the ECMWF brings it even closer there to northern Luzon. Look at that. I mean, if that doesn't tell you anything, and I've been saying this for several days now, that northerly churn, I'm not convinced of it just yet as this storm system starts to head off into that direction. So Not a big fan of this right now at all, guys. So right now is the time you truly need to start making those preparations ahead of this. If you are in northern Luzon, even if you're not in that direct path, it's going to be a big old storm by the time it heads off in that direction. And I want to make sure you guys are staying safe with this one as it starts to head off towards you. So yeah, right now we're going to continue to track it. Next several days I'll continue to put out new updates, and we're going to follow this here on our Westpac Weather YouTube channel. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do subscribe to it. That's first and foremost if you want more information from me. But as far as getting ready, not first and foremost. Make sure you're taking those proper preparations and everything, guys. Yeah, it's going to be a rough one. A couple days of just rough weather here out in the Philippine Sea, and closely monitoring for our friends here in Luzon, and even over towards Okinawa for that matter. You're not out of the woods either as it starts to pull off there towards the west. Anyways, that is all for right now. I'm going to continue to keep you guys posted on what's happening here in Guam, and of course over towards the Philippines, Taiwan, southern Japanese islands over the upcoming days. Stay safe out there.